I had been waiting there all day. Kids had been walking past me without even so much as a glance since that morning. I was getting a bit annoyed. Then came Todd. He was a junior who stayed after school for soccer practice, and more importantly, he actually looked in my direction. I looked right back at him, and waited patiently for him to take the permission slip right beside me, but just like everyone else, he walked away. Now, hear me out. It was the end of the school day, and after seeing many kids walk right past me, I wasn't ready to let this one go, so I yelled, "Hey!" So I finally got his attention, right? And that's when I decided to explain to him properly how likely it is that he'd die in some tragic heart-related way due to the fact that he was a teenage athlete. I told him that athletic teens are twice as likely to suffer from sudden cardiac arrest, and that every 3 days, one young athlete dies from it. And the fact that he was male made him part of the 90% of young athletes who die from a heart attack. I asked him his age, to which he told me was 17. I nearly wanted to slap him because that was the perfect age for cardiac arrest victims, and he didn't even care. I guess this is around the time when I started to lose him, because in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have insisted so harshly that he was gonna die in the next 3 days. Anyways, I started to tell him about Young Hearts for Life and all the good they did. I told him about how they firmly believe in ECG screening or electrocardiograms for young athletes like himself. When he asked what electrocardiograms did, I told him that they measured your heart rate and electrical activity in a completely painless test. There's been people like Dan from East Aurora who weren't as lucky, I said, to have had a free ECG screening, come to his school on time, and suffered the consequences of a heart condition go unnoticed. He stared at me, contemplating. I swallowed my pride and hoped to God this kid had enough common sense in him to take the permission slip. And yet, like I said before, I wasn't ready to let this one go, so I decided to leave and run after him. Todd was headed toward his soccer practice, and maybe if I had been a little bit faster. Anyways, I didn't get very far. Todd walked into the boys' locker room, and I had to stop myself. No one was going to let a woman in a pantsuit run through there, so I had to take the long way around. While Todd was in the locker room, however, he began to feel an ache in his chest. It was small and frankly unimportant to someone like him. If Todd could have seen what I saw, he would have seen everyone in that locker room's hearts and how at risk they were for a sudden cardiac arrest. More importantly, if Todd could have seen what I saw, he'd see his own heart pumping 5 times more blood than usual. Like I said, Todd decided to ignore it. He changed and walked outside of practice without so much as a second thought. As you probably already guessed, Todd experienced a heart attack shortly afterwards. His whole upper body tensed and he dropped right onto the field. People tried to do their best to save him, but by the time the paramedics came, it was too late. So take Todd's story to heart, and make sure you get an ECG screening if you're given the chance.